I have one other thing to review, and it's a brand new Lost in Space series that Netflix has just premiered. Today is the premiere day for this brand new series that obviously takes place in space for a little while, but I've only watched the first episode, so I'm not going to do like a whole series review. I can just give you a sense of what it was like to watch this first of 10 episodes in the first season. I just watched it this morning, and I was actually quite moved. I think that they've done a pretty terrific job with the casting of the family. Molly Parker is the big name in the show. She plays the mother of they're all the Robinson family. I forget the mom's name. We all know Danger Will Robinson, who's the little boy, and then there are a couple of daughters, and then there's a father played by Toby Stevens, and they had to get the kids right, and I think they've done a pretty damn good job, because we all know that sometimes the kid acting Phantom Menace can be really off-putting and take you right out of the experience. And there is so much emphasis on the family dynamic. And one of the things that I really liked about this first episode, and we'll see if it sort of continues on with the rest of the show, is that it's a family-friendly show. It feels like it's kind of like a Star Trek / Battlestar Galactica that kids can watch too, you know? And some of that is problematic as well, because there's some crazy, weird logic issues like conducting a surgery in weather that's supposed to be 60 degrees below zero, and kids that just get lost and they're totally fine. But I did like where the drama got to, and I did like that I had real concern for the well-being of these children, and that's not easy to do if you're making something family-friendly, right? Because you don't want to push it too far. You don't want it to be too violent and too scary. And so far in that first episode, I think they did a really good job at sort of butting up to that edge. I mean, in fact, and I'll just give you a quick overview. It's this family that's escaping Earth because Earth is super inhospitable, and they're looking for a new place to colonize. And for some reason, they crash land, and I'm not going to spoil it, but they crash land on this planet, and all kinds of hell breaks loose, and one of the kids is put in jeopardy right away. And so a big chunk of the episode is to help rescue that kid. And in the middle of that rescue, another kid gets into jeopardy, and so the time is running out, and there's a real sort of pressure cooker kind of scenario. And one of the things that was really amazing about this is there was no titles, there were no credits, there are end credits, but there was nothing to tell you what you were watching at the beginning of the show. Netflix just assumes you press the play button, you know what you're watching. And it was just like drama. It was just content. It was movement. And there was a little bit of a flashback element in it. But for the most part, it was like, you 5 actors, you pull this off. You're tight together. You make us believe you're a family, and you make us believe that there's real danger, Will Robinson. And let's see if people stay for the rest of it. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to stay for the rest of it. I wish my daughter was a little bit older so that we could watch this together, which is a good thing, man. I think that's a cool comment to make on a new property like this. Netflix is doing pretty good with these TV shows, and the effects are okay. They're still TV sized, like there's a lot of this forest sequence. I think a lot of it was shot in the Vancouver area, and there's a lot of foresty type stuff. They shot Battlestar here, so obviously there's going to be familiar looking scenery if you're a fan of BSG. But they didn't really augment the forest to make it's not Avatar. Let's put it that way. It's like our trees with a few kind of CG mushrooms and stuff put on them. But the robot effects are pretty rad, and the space effects are pretty cool. Parker Posey's also in this show as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing where the Robinsons' adventures take me. I was actually kind of impressed and kind of taken in by this. And so good job, Netflix and the producers of Lost in Space. For the premiere episode, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10, and I'm going to stay tuned for more. And what I'll do is I'll get you guys a full series review as soon as I've binged all the episodes.